Hi, this is the Cosmic Spin Drifter. I'm doing the story of my family, Jake and Rose Bock family. This is inside of an extragang car. These cars are made out for actually living in. My mother was a cook for the train. The trains would travel all the railroads using them to repair the infrastructure because of the heavy war traffic. This is my older sister, Levon, and older sister, Agnes. And I remember my mother coming in the car and saying, they're going to move the train tonight. So I must have been old enough to remember that. This is the extragang train. They would move this train around from place to place, and the cars, of course, were made out for living in. And couldn't quite get up here is an older extragang train. I worked up in the Cedar Falls line from Milwaukee Road, and actually had a covered bridge that we traveled on up there. And we lived in 1971. I worked up there on replacing the ties, and we lived in the same cars as these cars. Might be an older model. This is me in a car, an extragang car. I'd fallen out on maybe these buckets right here, and so my mother had to take me through the blinding snow, just like in the silent movies, to get me sewed up. This is my father, Jacob Rudolph Bock Jr. He was actually foreman of these extragang trains. And other than that, Dad and my mother cooked for the train. And they'd sometimes have several hundred people working for them, or many people. This is when we finally got a station house after the war. After the extragang trains were no longer needed, my dad got the station in Rainier, Washington. We actually lived in the stations. That's what many of the railroads did in those days. And he was patrolled the tracks and hired people then to work on the tracks. And this is Arnie Bock sitting on this car. This is what boxcars look like in those days. Yeah. This is the motor car that was kept in that shed, and they would take this out and they would patrol the lines up and down and repair the rails that might have been broken or replace the lines. And so this is Dad on the phone. He'd call the dispatcher in Tacoma and ask when the trains might be due. And my mother would come out yelling, "Where's Arnie? Where's Arnie?" And this is, did it snow in Thurston County? I think it did. Yeah. This is Dad's shoveling snow. We're out during the snowstorm. That's what the snow looked like there at Rainier. I remember icicles being very long coming out there. Having fun in the snow. I'm sitting on this log and Dad's sawing away. I walked behind him one time and got hit in the head when he was doing a side work. Another time I had to go get sewed up. This is the station house, my mother's clothing, those days. The housewives took pride in how many clothes they put on the line. It was really wonderful. This is Arnie Bock with his dog and the station house. That garage door down there is where we kept the car, and it's kind of trippy down there. But this is that shed's gone now. All that's maybe gone. This is the Arnie. Rose Bock, Jacob R. Bock family, Jacob and Rose and Arnie, and says Vancouver. We got there In the background, you can see that that's a Union Pacific train. The Milwaukee and Union Pacific were going to merge, and so Milwaukee changed all their colors to Union Pacific lines, and the merger didn't happen, but they still ran those lines. This is icing. This is a icing platform in Othello, Washington, where we lived before we moved to Rainier. And it looks like they're turning around their motor car there. This is the icing going on here. You had to ice those refrigerator cars in those days before they invented the diesel engines to run before they put that in the refrigerator cars, and they no longer had to ice. If they had to ice those every couple hundred miles so that they would stay frozen. This is a line of the Milwaukee Road that went into this tunnel called the Eagle's Nest Tunnel. And this is an old excursion train, apparently. I rode in the dome car, and being just young, and the older people told me, we're going to run smack into that mountain, and it looked like we did. And right there at the last minute, it makes a turn. Well, thank you for watching. This is the story of Jacob and Rose Bock's family. Thank you.